Hi everyone, it's Kim. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to just jump straight in today. We're still very much in the holiday mode, and I've got a lot to show you, so let's get started. You may recall how excited I was when the skeleton hand came out from Spellbinders for the Halloween season. And I know Spellbinders aims to please, but you can't imagine how ecstatic I was when I saw these two new sets of hands that we can use that just came out in their November release. So we've got two sets of hands. One's really large. Let's look at the smaller ones first. So there's two layers to this. The layers basically with the fingers and then the shadow or background die. And when I put them together, there's more to this release than just the hands, but I'm only going to focus on the hands so you can see how they make that little heart. And this set of hands is called heart hands. But I'm going to be using these in a different way than this heart. So if you like the heart, there's some additional pieces if you want to make this little bracelet here. And part of the collection is the friendship bracelets. So anyway, we've got our first set of hands that we're going to be using today. And then our second set, look at how big these are. I was just floored when I saw these. I brought my ruler in just to measure. So the length of this hand is about 6.5 inches, and it's like a palm up look. And then the other hand is like it's grabbing something or could hold something. And this one is, let's measure this one. This is about 6.5 inches as well. So really a good size hand. I don't think I've ever seen anything that large as far as hands. And this set is from Bestie Heart in Hand. So you see the dies and it also comes with a heart. So let's take a look. What can we do with these hands? And the first one, these are all holiday related, so it's holding that great martini glass. And again, you could see I'll pull these in and out where I don't have to use the whole hand and the arm if I don't want. I can use just a portion of it. So it held this glass pretty well. I will stop to tell you that I did try a couple different positions to hopefully make it look natural. But the martini glass is from Olive Martinis. We looked at this during Halloween, and there is another add-on set called Christmas Cocktails. So that's what I used to dress up this glass. Just such a cool set that they came out with for this holiday season. So basically, between the hands and the cocktail or the martini glass, I was able to decorate that glass in the spirit of the season. I used one of my older embossing folders just to make a simple background because I had so much going on here. I used the beveled diamonds, and I like this because it's one of the large 3D embossing folders. And this is a 5x7 card. So this is really large. I think I might just frame this and use it for holiday decor because it is large to be making too many of these at this size. But obviously, we can make a smaller one. And this is an A2 size card. This time I used one of the other hands. I used the smaller hand. And I didn't rearrange any fingers or move them around. I just tucked the fingers behind the glass, but I needed more of an arm than this one has. So you can see here what I did is I just measured the width of the top layer, measured the width of the bottom, and then just cut 2 more strips, glued it actually to the top here, and then just put a diamond studded bracelet, a gem studded bracelet to hide that line where the two are connected. No one would know, and I can make this as long or as short as I want. So there is a way to alter these if we need to change up the look of the hand a little bit so that we're able to use it. So again, same 2 sets with the olive martini glass and Christmas cocktails to decorate the various pieces to the glass. I did use the candy cane for the stem just to do something a little different on this one. And the background for this one uses a letterpress plate that came out at the same time with these dies. And the letterpress plate is called Classy Glasses. You can see the plate here. And it also comes with an optional stencil so that if you want to fill the glasses with a liquid, you're able to do that very easily. Now mine are just all empty, or they're just more decorative. I don't have them filled with anything. But that gives us a look at how to use these hands. You better believe we'll be seeing them again in the future. In fact, that future is right now. So here's a slimline card, mini slimline. This is 7 1/4. I think I made it by 3. And we've seen the skeleton play the piano keys before. This time I'm using the smaller pair of hands to play the piano keys. One thing that I wish I had done a little differently, I needed to make this a little wider than 3 inches. That way I would have been able to pull my hands down just a little bit more. They're kind of scrunched up on those keys. It works, but when I fold this, I have to be really aware how close. And you can see that thumb just very much at the base of the card. So next time I make this, I'll give myself a little more room, probably at least a 1/2 inch, and then I can pull these hands and have a little more leeway on how I can arrange them on the keys. But again, simple card. I love using those hands just like we did the skeleton hands, but this time they're hands for the holiday season. So what did I use to make this card for the keys? That's the piano keys pop-up from Karen. And 'Tis the Season is from an older die from Tim Holtz. This one is called Bold Text Christmas, just because I was able to cut that out there. I actually had a piece of paper that was musical notes, which came in handy. And then on the outside, I just kind of was inspired by the paper, and I just used the candle and some of the greenery from one of the vault sets from Tim this year. This is the Vault Festive Wreath, and that took care of decorating the outside. So again, I still love that, even though I know we looked at one from Halloween. It still works for the winter holidays as well. And I had one extra piano. So this one has a very simple outside of the card for our piano on the inside. And this one is just decorated for the winter holidays. This time I didn't even put like a stool or a bench here, and I don't have anybody playing it. You could simply add that if you wanted to have yours with a character playing the piano. Same way as we did prior with the skeleton playing at Halloween. But I decided I'm going to keep it a little simpler. It's also a little thinner if I don't have that character in there. So when I go to mail it, this isn't quite as thick. But either way, it works. And this time I just used the greenery again from Tim. And these little ornament lights are from Karen Burniston. And now I'm trying to remember which set that was in. When we come across that, I don't think I have that out. When we come across that, I will show you that, because the light bulbs are actually really cute. They're just each a single bulb, and then I just colored it and wrapped it around this piece of twine. If you missed out how to make this piano using the fireplace die from Karen, I'll put the link below in the description box, and you can follow that back. I did use a couple other things that are from Karen. The Wishing You a Season of Cheer is from one of her new stamp sets. This is called Season of Cheer, and it fit perfectly in her hexagon crosshatch nesting dice set. So I kind of keep all my nesting dice from Karen together, and then when I just need something, depending on the shape or the size, then I just pull out one of her nested dies for my sentiment area. And then Merry Christmas on the outside is also from Karen. So both the Merry Christmas, the words, and then the Merry Christmas shadow die, I use both of them to make it pop a little bit off the paper here. So 2 more piano cards. If you are into the caroling and the music of Christmas. Let's pop to a simpler card now. This is one using a Hero Arts Peking Animal. So last year they had several peking animals for Halloween and the winter holidays. This guy this year is our little bear. He works the same as all of the others in the past. So this is the Peking Winter Bear. I already had this background cut out. This is a letterpress plate, and it's from Hero Arts too. And this one is called Snowy Night. So easy. I mean, there's no way I could ever stamp something like that, but it is so easy to do with the letterpress plate. And just make sure you have a good juicy, not overly juicy, but a good inked up stamp pad to ink this, and then you can just run your paper through, and it is so quick and easy. I can just literally crank out a bunch of backgrounds, and then they were ready to go, and I could simply I just added a little strip of paper like it was the side of a barn or a building, and then made my little snowman, or excuse me, my little snow bear, and added him on. And then again, a sentiment I had ready to go from the Better Press. So this one's cute. It doesn't scream necessarily Christmas. It's a good winter holiday card. This next card is using several of Karen's new dies as well. So first is that beautiful poinsettia. And this time when I open it up, I have a pop-up base. Now this happens so fast, I know it's hard to really watch that, but you can see the mechanism if I hold it this way and how that goes up and down. And this is for a gift card holder. So I just made a little insert for this envelope for my gift card. And I just cut this piece of paper out, scored it about 1.5 inches, I think that was, and just made it so that it would fit into this. And then I can just add my gift card and stick this in here and leave my little character hanging out. But it's sort of neat. It adds just a little something extra if I'm sending a gift card, especially by mail, and yet it's not real bulky. So to create this is using the postage pop-up mechanism. Now, I'm not really using anything else in this die set except for the mechanism that is super simple. This can go anywhere in your card. So I have it on the right-hand side. I could have easily put the mechanism, flipped it around. I'm just going to turn the card around, but I could have put it so that the mechanism came up on the left-hand side. The mechanism can come up on the top or the bottom of the card. So you pick where you want to put it. And if you want more than one mechanism, like I could have another one over here, just depending on what you're doing, I can do that as well. So for my little envelope, that is from Spellbinders, Wendy Vecchi's Essential Envelope. And I just like this because it's so easy. It's a little different. It holds a gift card. And yet it was so easy to make. And again, I just cut out my own little piece of paper, scored it, and folded it up. I did stamp it with one of Karen's new stamp sets. And this one is not necessarily for the holidays. Special delivery. So it is for the postage set. But sending love across the miles, that still works for what I'm doing to send a gift card. And then my deer, he's from a really old Tim die. This one is called Cool Yule, just in case you have that. But really, look around and see what you have that you could decorate your envelope with. And then on the other side, this is another one of Karen's nesting sets. This is the rectangles. This is from a little decorative piece out of her new Merry Christmas Lorna Label add-on set. I love that little holly berry look, and it just adorned the outside perfectly. And then the poinsettia, again, beautiful flower, nice big flower. This is called Poinsettia from Karen's latest release. This time I had some kind of decorative flocked paper, so that gave the flower just a little bit of a different look. And the Merry Christmas is also from Karen's small script Christmas set. This came out last year. So I like that it's a little smaller font and not your everyday or ordinary font. I just really like how this card went together, and it will be perfect to send somebody a gift card to. All right, so let's get with Santa here. And you've seen the character on the inside before. This time he's in his permanent base. So this time we've got Rudolph. He's taking a break, it looks like, on top of the roof, having a little hot chocolate. And I hope Santa's going to swing back by and pick him up here. But we saw him last time, but he wasn't in his card base. And I added a little chimney for him this time. So let me show you what I used to make him. And this is the penguin and reindeer snowman. So we looked at the penguin last time. This time it's Rudy's turn. He's got with him, I guess before we talk about what he's carrying, you do need the snowman pop-up base so that you can decorate it with the reindeer pieces. So you do need both of these dies in order to make Rudolph here. And then he is holding on to the little sleigh, so I'm going to guess it's his job to deliver that. And this is from the Snow Charms die set, which is also new. And then for my little cup and my mug and teapot there on the chimney, that's from the tea and coffee border. So I love these border sets. You don't necessarily have to use the whole border. I just cut one of the teapots out, and I didn't even have to do this whole strip. I could just use one of the two dies here on this little piece and decorate it with a little pin, and he was ready to go. Now, I made his chimney pop up with one of the band boxes. So this is the little band box. This is not the big one. And I could have used the big one, but I think I use the little one a lot more when I'm adding different pieces to the cards. So this is the small seams band box pop-up. One word of caution. I would need to send this, I either need to add instructions on how to close this down and then fold the card, or send it to one of my card making friends that would know how to do this, because if I just try to close this on its own, it's not going to work. So if somebody doesn't understand that they need to press this down, I maybe would have just made this chimney flat laying down, and maybe it wouldn't have been quite as cool, but it would have, at least they would have been able to close it. So just bear in mind who you're sending things to, and if they will be able to figure out, oh, look, I got to press this down before I close it. And I lucked out. I was trying to make sure nothing got hung up, and it became very close to having to move that teapot, but it still popped open, even with the cup and his leg in the way. The sentiment is from another new stamp set from Karen. So this one is from the Winter Hugs. So keep warm and drink hot cocoa was perfect for what he's doing. My little Santa and sleigh is just from an old die I had in my stash from Frantic Stamper. I think anytime I see Santa and the reindeer, I feel obligated to get that. And then on the outside, this is Tim's Santa and sleigh. I think this came out last year. This is Reindeer sleigh. And then the stars, I believe, are from one of Karen's die sets. Again, I just pulled out some stars, nothing in particular. And the Merry Wishes for All is another letterpress plate that I had already impressed and die cut apart, ready to go. So Rudolph, you better finish up his cocoa and get back to work there when Santa swings back by to pick him up. So my last card I'm going to leave you with is for Thanksgiving, because I often feel that Thanksgiving kind of gets lost between Halloween and the winter holidays. And when let me show you the card, and then I'll tell you how I made it. So pumpkin pie on the front. When I open it up, I'm going to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. And boy, if that turkey does not have some tail feathers. When I first saw Karen show this die, the photo fan pop up, and then how it worked, I also knew in the back of my mind I had this feather die from Tim. So I couldn't wait to see if these two went together, and the feathers are like made for this die. I'll be honest with you, I didn't start out just boom and put this together. I had to come up with a mechanism for the front here to hold Tom Turkey. So I'm going to show you this because this is truly what I played with for quite a while. I just had the basic die with all the little arms on a piece inside a card base, basically. And then I put the feathers on just to lay them out, and oh, they worked beautifully. I was just like, this is just working too well. But then I needed something to hold this turkey body in front of all those feathers. And I went through several different dies, trying several different of Karen's dies, a couple different things. But I'll just tell you very briefly, in case you want to repeat this, what I did. I finally decided that the die that worked best was the raising platform pop-up. And I only used a little section of it, just this little bit here. And then I trimmed it down. So basically this piece folds back and this tucks up under. And then I trimmed, once I put it together and held it flat down, one piece, I trimmed 3/8 of an inch on one side and 3/8 of an inch on the other side of the fold, and really trimmed that die down. So I'm going to pull my Tom Turkey back, and you can kind of see that the die that he's sitting on, it is the raising platform pop-up die, just trimmed down so it's not quite so big. When I put this in my card base, I put on my plaid paper first, then I put on this piece, the raising platform, and then so I could leave kind of a longer base, and then I could tuck in, I want to call this my finger die, the photo fan pop-up. So then the fan pop-up went in on top. And there, I didn't have all the feathers and everything, so it was very easy just to tuck that up underneath. And just for measurement purposes, I know Karen says she measures 2 1/4 down for the point. If we look here, for the point of the fan die. And then I measured and put 2 3/4 of an inch. And that's where the point for my other die for the, let's see here, let me call it the right thing, the raising platform point. So 2 1/4 for the fan die and 2 3/4 for the raising platform, the point of that. And then that way I knew everything was going to fit in my card. This is a 5x5 card because when I did it this way, I could see I had some tail feathers hanging out, so I needed to have a little bigger card base than an A2 card. And then I just went, added my feathers, made my turkey, and I had to make sure I played with him. Glue dots are my friend right now until I know exactly where to put it, and then I can glue him in. But I had to adjust this a little bit and move him around so he too, you could see where he folds up among that fan die. But once I figured it all out, the feathers went on perfectly. I did go back and add, I think, 3 more feathers just to make it a little fuller. Flip it around, you can just see where I've kind of added on to the other feathers an extra set. Not all the way around, but through a portion of it. And then for the rest of it was all pretty easy from there on out. Happy Thanksgiving. Well, let me go back to the turkey. This is my basically one and only turkey I use year after year. It's an ancient turkey from Spellbinders called Happy Turkey Day. So if you've got a turkey, whether it's a die or stamp, you can make it work. Just cut it out and play with it, move it around. For Happy Thanksgiving, that is from Karen's word set, Autumn 7. And then the autumn elements, I just had that handy, so I finished decorating the front of the card with that. I didn't have the perfect paper, so I thought, well, I can do my own plaid paper with Wendy Vecchi's Build-A-Plaid from Spellbinders. So I pulled out the old gel place to hold my paper down and went to town and just did this. They're not identical, and that's fine. I just had fun with it. And then on the outside, my pumpkin pie is from Spellbinders Pie Collection from a few years back. The serve a slice and dish it up. I figured that was just a perfect way for my surprise turkey on the inside. So that gives you some more ideas as we continue to think about, maybe start our holiday cards, whatever we need, whatever theme we need. And we can obviously make a couple different ones. We don't have to have them all the same. And that's what's fun. We can make them again personalized to those special people in our life. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you again in a future video.